She did everything right. She just didn't know it, which caused her to search. Clarity of others' decisions came easy, which made her easy to talk to and quick to understand, except herself. She carried a wisdom from long ago, ancient artifacts buried deep within her soul. She could ignite a room with her presence, yet the odds shied away. Too much light, perhaps, so she learned to constrain it. It was hard to contain. She knew how to access energy, but was not consistent in her practice. Tight spaces smothered her. Loud noises alarmed her. Fake sense repulsed her. She often understood at the gateway of fame and fortune without making a claim of her own. Each lifetime she brought forward occupied a special place in her heart. She could dance, she could sing, she was a pianist. It all stayed within. She was a writer, she was an orator, she was an artist. Occasionally glimpses appeared. Only the outward appearances revealed evidence of lifetimes ago coexisting within time and space. A bunion which lies on the right foot to the left, a resounding melodic voice which she shared on occasion until someone told her she couldn't, and then she didn't. The long, slender fingers which she uses to source the typewriter keys, a propensity for words, an attraction to color. She always knew what needed to be said, but she couldn't quite arrange the words in order. So she hugged instead, or simply said, "I love you." Perhaps she was lonely, or just resolved, determined to do something, just waiting for the crowd. Her love interest, well, mostly conflicted, and in retrospect, more karmic retribution than intimacy. She longed for intimacy, but never learned the art of loving herself. She listened to binaural beats to calm her anxieties and quiet her mind. She was sick most of her life, from childhood to old age. She carried grief like a badge, a warrior with a mission, so she thought. She longed for the sea, like a sailor without a boat. Instead, she listened to the birds and watched the sunrise. She often talked about the butterfly in the cocoon, a self-fulfilling prophecy nonetheless. She loved the cicada song, such engagement yet brief. She often came across as controlling, arrogant, distant, and yet she was none of those things. She didn't know how to explain the difference between arrogance and confidence. Perhaps the confidence was her faith that everything always works out. The arrogance was the armor that protected the insecurities in a world that sees the wrong instead of the right, sees the loss instead of the gain, sees the have-nots rather than the haves, sees the cup half empty rather than half full, sees the limits rather than the limitless. She couldn't help but wonder, if it's arrogant to know, then what is it to not know? She learned that her being right didn't make the other person wrong. It's just perception. She could sense thoughts and feelings which swirled around her. That made her scary sometimes. She often tried to correct the path, fill in the gaps until it became overwhelming, so she reclused. Actually, she numbed. She wore her emotions on her face. No makeup, just raw. She was often accused of wearing rose-colored glasses, an imposter, or just wanting to see the world as it truly is, a colorful rainbow. She hated to say no. Not really. She hated the emotional fallout she experienced when she said no. She didn't like to be judged. Compliments would shut her down, even though she longed for them. She never wanted to hurt anyone's feelings, so she tap danced most of the time, or just stayed silent. She sat on a volcano of emotions, and at times they would erupt into actions she often regretted. She had challenges initiating self-care, so she prescribed to martyrdom most of the time. She never understood the meaning of boundaries, so the lines were mutable. Inconsistent ideas of where the line should be only caused confusion within her. She loved being a mom, yet refrained from telling her children what to do. She often wondered, is that what a mom is supposed to do? Where is the line between codependence and independence? Where is the line between caring and allowing? Where is the line between connection and disconnection? She often considered where the propensity of perfectionism sprang from, the need to have things in order amongst the chaos. What gives rise to wanting to be seen as having it all together? She found strength in the struggle, and for a long time perhaps created drama where none existed, until she learned the strength is not the struggle. The strength is seeing there is no struggle. She learned to accept the feminine within. The masculine still existed. The coexistence helped her to realize it's the balance, the yin and the yang. She was an observer, silent, watching, paying attention, sometimes from afar, most times up close. She could sense the emergence of her being, accepting, allowing. She met this sensation with gratitude, great appreciation for a time she always wanted just to be. She discovered the difference between knowledge and wisdom, always wanting to know, always seeking the truth. She learned over time the only truth is from within, and to see it, she must let the wisdom come to fruition, the point of realization, transformation, human revolution.